Alright, everybody! Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe Stark here. Guapa's in the house as well. And isn't that awesome? Oh, so let me get real cozy right here. I am at home. You want to stay? Ooh. All right, everybody. So I'm streaming now at home. It is the ultimate privilege, let me tell you. This is so beautiful. I don't have to go to the gym, like I say in the ebook, right? Without going to the gym. So let me check real quick. Everything is running smoothly? Let me see. Yes. Everything's running smoothly. How awesome. I've set up my system a little bit differently now. So I want to see maybe if I'm going to show something, I also have some kind of idea prepared to see how it works. So technique check first, see how the systems are running. Everything's fine. That's cool. And now let me see if that works, guys, and then I'll jump to your questions. And thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. I just want to see if that's possible. If I now switch, let me see. Is that possible if I switch the camera to... No, it's not possible. It's too complicated. All right. But that's fine. Okay. Here we go. Get out of here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, grüezi miteinander. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live Q&A. I see the chat's already populating, so thank you so much. This is awesome. I already have a couple of questions in the chat. This is great. But first of all, let me tell you, I want to wish each and every one of you Merry Christmas. It's right around the corner. And a Happy New Year that's coming up too. And man, is that beautiful, right? So getting cozy at home, being able to have a conversation with you guys, that is just a massive privilege, which you are responsible for, my friends. So a lot of the things happen before I jump into the questions. You know, every time I do a stream, I want to have a little chit chat with the community. So it's been a very interesting year. Lots of things have changed. We have organized our business in a way where I believe we have finally found our audience. And we're just scratching at the tip of the iceberg. So what that means is we have gotten rid of other services that we've stopped offering. We're really now honing in and making sure that we really make the best out of what we have and out of the focus. We start, as many of you know, when you watch the videos on a regular basis, we focus on over 40s, 50s, and 60s. We combine that target audience with the power of the kettlebell. So I've learned that this group, this demographic, oftentimes suffers from physical ailments, some pain in the shoulders, some pain in the knees, some pain in the hips. They have tried many things, yet they have wisened up, so you can't fool them that easily. So because they have been around a little bit longer on this planet, they finally understand that I think the gym is probably not the proper solution for me. And I believe it's an obsolete model. And the kettlebell is just a game changer. So we bring the kettlebell in, and many people recognize, you know what? I need strength in my life. I need to take care of my body and my health, because the body disintegrates and breaks down the older we get, especially after 60. There's even science to support that, especially men after 60, it gets very crucial. So it is important to take care of what God has given us, to make sure that we don't lose the muscle, we don't lose the strength, because we live longer. And I had this conversation with a couple of clients yesterday. Because we live longer, we have to make sure, which is a blessing, right? In not in all instances, but in many cases. And so therefore, we have to make sure that we take care of this house. And bringing the kettlebell in, I now finally recognize, as I always say, and it's funny, like I had a conversation with a client yesterday as well, is he said, you always say the same thing, whether it's in the ebook, in the videos, or in the coaching, on the material that you have. And that's because I see it and I believe it, and we have the experience and we have the results, and I do understand where the kettlebell comes from and where the power of it is. And that is, as I always say, it is the best GPP tool on planet Earth because it takes care of all these physical qualities that the human body has to offer. And the kettlebell is the tide that lifts all boats of these physical qualities all at once. That makes it so powerful. It's very accessible. You can train your strength, your mobility, your endurance. It's fun. It's a tool that can give you so much for the time that you're investing, especially if you use the basics, the big rock exercises that give you so much bang for your buck. And this is where I come from. And so this year, we were really able to hone in and finally find the audience. And this has changed everything, let me tell you. Being able to, knowing who you serve is a key metric. If you think you can serve everybody, and funny thing, that's what most gyms do, right? We serve the young, the middle-aged, the old, the people who have pain, people who don't have pain, bodybuilders, non-bodybuilders, right? So it is a complete mess. So you always try to please everybody. And I found out a long time ago, and it was proven to me in the last couple of days as well with some of the content that I put out, that if you try to please everybody, you're not going to please anybody, right? So, and then I think 2 months ago, it was 2 months ago, we now started incorporating a team. So now it's not just Angie and me. It's not just our beautiful dogs doing the business, Gypsy and Guapa, but it is a team now. So, and my business coach told me, you're now moving from being an entrepreneur into a business with processes that is almost like a franchise system, because everything that we build now has a process, is documented. So the trainers have to do a certain part. We have a curriculum that we have to serve our clients. And our core system at the same time is growing as well. This is just power. It's just beautiful. I'm beyond blessed what is happening currently. And I'm so incredibly thankful for the community that we have built, not just on our core system, people who pay, but also on the YouTube front, right? We are able to serve people for free and they get massive results. And I just got a feedback from one of our members. Her name is Lucy. And you got to check that video out. It's on the channel. I think it's the 2 or 3 days ago I released it, where I said, stop doing these exercises because they're a waste of time, and then do this instead. And this is where I incorporated a story from Lucy. Lucy is from Wisconsin, from the United States, and she took care of her fitness in January 24 this year, when a thought woke her up that said, you have to change something. So that's what she did. Then she went on a YouTube University because her husband said, stop doing these ab workouts. Instead, go grab a kettlebell. So she was doing her research. So she found us. And then she was using the tools that I'm giving you, right? So, and she got massive results. And I think she was working 8 months in, and then she became a client or she became a member. But funny thing is, you don't even have to. Just use the tools that we give away for free. So I'm giving you the house for free. I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom, my lord. That's what I even say in the webinar. And if you are a keen observer, you can really take care of many things. Granted, yes, the kettlebell has some technical difficulties that oftentimes it makes sense to work with a coach, but here's where I come from. I do think there's 2 types of people, and you have to identify what type of person you are. There's group A, which is in the majority. These are people who say, you know what, I just need a program, a structure, and I'm going to do it by myself, and here I go. And then you have a small chunk of that big group that says, no, I need coaching. I need somebody to hold me accountable, right? And so everybody's on a different journey on that point. And so that's why I think the free stuff that we dish out, it's just a system that we use with our client on an individual basis. And that's what's going to help you change your life. So if you take the info, not just from me, not just the information that I serve, there's lots of good people on YouTube. If you take that information and you apply it, you're going to change your life. This is like you have a roadmap. You start from New York and you want to go to Los Angeles, and then that navigational system is going to tell you, all right, Google Maps is going to tell you, this is where you have to go. Now take a turn left, take a turn right. And if you don't take a detour, or you go up and down, left and right, you are going to end up at the place that you want to end up because you follow the system and you trust the process. And this is a major key. So getting the information is one thing. Let me tell you, you've probably heard that knowledge is power, right? I want to enhance that philosophy and say applied knowledge is power, because knowledge in and all by itself is just information that you have memorized, but actually applying the information is what's going to change your life, because this is going to lead to action. Action is going to lead to habits, and habits is going to lead to results. So instead of always focusing on the results for next year, I just want you to remember this. Instead of always focusing on the result for next year, when January 2025 hits and you have that New Year's motivation, I'm one of those guys who says, I think it's a good thing if you have a reason to be motivated to change something. I truly think this can be a powerful catalyst for change. I don't laugh at people who say, now that's it, I got to change something. Because we all need that moment, that time in our lives where we say, all right, it's over, I have to do something. And this might be, in your case, maybe January. And so then you want to make sure that you don't focus on the results. I want to lose weight, I want to get rid of that pain. While it is your goal to keep that goal in mind, it's a great way. But the strategy should be, let's focus on the habits. Let's do one workout a week for the next 6 months. Let's just eat a little bit more protein. Let's just reduce my visits to the McDonald's. Let's just eat a little less sweets and treats, right? Or whatever your kryptonite might be. That is the key that I want you to focus on, right? Focusing on the habits, and the results will follow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's take it serious. The reason why you signed up, that's good. So, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you download that free Kettlebell code ebook. If you have been a long-time viewer of the channel, you know what time it is. We offer all the information that I'm giving you. We offer it in a condensed ebook, 100% free. It's called the Kettlebell Code, and you can download it right now in the first link in the description. So go ahead and do that right now. And by the way, that shirt is our merchandise. So if you want to cop one, go ahead and get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the questions. Here we go. BJ, let me see if I can read that. BJ Wojciechowski, huh? Trying my best to not butcher your name. I was wondering how you keep your hands from ripping when doing 100 snatch. I've done it a number of times, and every other time I get blisters. I used chalk the last time, and it was even worse. Let me tell you, BJ, when you snatch, you have to understand how to grab the kettlebell. And give me just 1 second, my friends. All right, so snatch, right? And let's go ahead and grab that 20 kg right here. I have one kettlebell at home. Oh, here we go. Oh, let me see if you can see this, right? Okay. So, I don't know if you can see this. Let me see. When you grab the kettlebell, here's what many people do wrong. Let me see if I turn the mic a little bit down. Here we go. So that's what many people do wrong, is they grab the kettlebell like this. You probably grab the kettlebell like a dumbbell, with a crush grip, right? Here's what you have to do. You have to grab the kettlebell like this. See that? See the difference? So I don't wrap my full palm and fingers around the handle, but I keep it with the root of my finger so that the palm does not make contact with the kettlebell. That's one thing. That's how you grab it when the kettlebell lands in the backswing. And once the bell comes up, you don't slide like this, but you jump. So there's two things. Understand that you're not supposed to grab the kettlebell in a crush grip. And second, understand that it is jumping and not sliding. All right? So that's in 99% of cases, that's a technique question, my friend. And so when you use chalk and you do not have the technical finesse yet, like you're saying, you're going to make this thing even worse. So you only use chalk when you have really sweaty hands and that the kettlebell starts slipping inside your palm. And you only want to use it when you're technically sound. If you're not, do not use chalk. It's going to make things worse. And so my recommendation, learn the basics, jump back to the kettlebell, watch that grip how I grab it, and then start light. And please let me know, brother, if that helps you. And Sweet Vuvuzela in the house, Jordan the OK, Ice Cream, awesome. So great that everybody's here. Martin Radford, a couple of weeks ago, you talked about... You guys, right? Ooh, that was... Some people really got mad. Some people really got mad with that fancy and functional stuff, right? But it is what it is. Yesterday, with a conversation with a client, he said, Gregory, he's from Australia. I said, Gregory, I can't do the accent. And he said, well, Gregory, I lost a lot of weight with doing fancy stuff. And I was like, that's awesome. That's great. Yet he acknowledged that he didn't build that type of strength that he was looking for. And so he wants to pivot from fancy into functional. All right, so Martin, here I am, giving you my attention. If you look at Squat University, he talks of the benefit of walking with upturned kettlebells on the core. Would love you and him to chat. Yes, that's a bottom-ups carry, right? So notice how I did not the bottom-up carry. The reason why Squat University or Aaron included it is because it is one of the exercises that Dr. Stuart McGill promotes to improve the strength of the quadratus lumborum. That's a little muscle that's attached from your spine, goes to your hip. And according to Dr. Stuart McGill, he says that a lot of people who have back issues have a weak QL muscle, the quadratus lumborum. And so Dr. Stuart McGill recommends that you're doing suitcase walks, which, by the way, we do walks all the time. All the time. Carries, never underestimate the power of carry exercises. Super simple, very easy to do, and it's a beast of an exercise. Never underestimate an exercise just because it doesn't require a lot of skill. And so Dr. Stuart McGill says a suitcase carry where you have the kettlebell right at your sides and then you start walking is great for that muscle. And then if you want to add another layer of difficulty, you turn the bell up, which requires more activation from the opposite side. And so that's why I'm saying that it wouldn't be the most fancy way, or I wouldn't coin it fancy in terms of it's useless in that regard. I do see where Dr. Aaron Horschig or Squat University comes from. But we do suitcase carries. I never do bottom-up stuff. Never. But please hear me out. This is very important. Just because you hear me say, I never do X, does not mean that you are not supposed to do X. I do have my reasons. I do believe I have an educated opinion. I do consider myself an expert in that area. Hence, this is why I have certain conclusions that I have. but you are still your own master. So you make up your mind however you want to train with kettlebells. I'm just here to guide you along the way, and you can either listen to me, dismiss it, or try it out and then see for yourself. I hope that answers your question, Martin. P.S. I love the channel, ran out of characters. Brother, thank you so much. Love you too. About chatting with Dr. Aaron Horschig, by the way, I tried. I reached out to Squat University, and I think that was a year ago at least, and he responded. He said, yeah, let's do this. And then he ghosted me for whatever reason. You know, when I say ghosted me, I don't say this in a negative sense. Maybe, you know, the email just, you know, got lost in the ether, or he had other things to do, or maybe he didn't want to talk to me, but he didn't want to tell me that. That's totally fine, right? But I'd love to talk to Aaron as well. Arjit, are you aware of any kettlebell certifications associations based out of India? I want to do a certification on kettlebells. I've been practicing at home since 2021. Let me see, brother. Because you're a long time subscriber of the channel as well. Thank you so much. So here we go. Strong First has a India representative. They have representatives in India. And so I just, Instagram.com, Strong First India, right? So I know the reason why I say this is I know that Strong First is all around the world represented. And even though I do have issues with how they present themselves and how they think the kettlebell should be used, I probably stay on the complete opposite side on many topics, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't be qualified at least to help you get started and get a foothold. So I would reach out to Strong First India. Or maybe IKF. Now, my sensei, Steve Carter, IKFF, he traveled around the world. Let me see. No, let me see, International Kettlebell Fitness Federation, India. Yeah, but I think it's a long time ago, right? So it seems like my mentor, Steve Carter, he set up, but 2nd of December 2020, that's long ago. But there's also, it seems like there's somebody is representing Steve Carter's IKFF in India as well. So this is where I'll reach out. And then the Kettlebell Sport India Association. Let me see. Hard to judge. But IKFF, right? Let me see. Kettlebell Sport India Association. Are they solid lifters? Let me see. Yeah, looks like it. So the Kettlebell Sport India Association, that's KSIA, they look solid, at least from what I can judge. And they're also competing. Awesome. Good stuff. IKFF India and Strong First. All right. I hope that helps out, brother. Scott Green, you guys have a great channel to tune in and pick up advice from. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. And by the way, I saw that even on Reddit, I think it was the Kettlebell Reddit, we are listed, Lebe Stock is listed as a channel to get advice from, which I'm really happy, really appreciate that some of the mods consider the content that we put out as valuable, hence they push it out to their audience. I truly appreciate that. That's awesome. Haley, yo, what's up? Yeah, bottom up kettlebells, strong forearms, like I mentioned. Bottom up, always. I would do it, if that regard, walking around, you do it for the lower back or for the QL muscle. And by the way, that was funny. It's a funny story. When I was at FIBO in Germany this year, I saw that they had a small little booth where the kettlebell was kind of represented a little bit. And then what they did was they had a little challenge going, a bottom-up press. And then I think they gave you like a couple of bucks when you do a bottom-up press with a 40 kg kettlebell. Who on earth does this, right? Of course, there might be some people who do it, but just completely out of touch with what the kettlebell really can do. And I was so frustrated. So I walked up to the dude, and he was like, "Hey, you want to take part of the challenge? Look, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Bro, relax. What kind of challenge is this? What are you doing?" And he looked at me flabbergasted, like, "What?" And I'm like, "What is this? This is not how you supposed. Nobody does bottom ups. A couple of people do, But kettlebell, you serious? Snatch. Show the people, challenge, how many snatch can you do with 12, 16, 20, 24, 20 weights, 32. I was like, and then I demonstrated. I was like, look, did some snatches. And he was like, it was so funny. He tried to push that challenge down my, he was actually friendly. He was really friendly. But he was still in selling mode. He was like, yeah, but that competition, I'm like, stop that competition. That's crap. Nobody does this. You're supposed to do this. I'm an expert. I know what I talk about. And then the crowd was like, they looked at me like, who's this guy? And then the dude, I remember the dude was like, brother, I just work here. I'm paid to say what I say. I actually don't know anything. He was upfront and honest. That was so funny. All right, so here we go. And by the way, did you see the goal that we have? YouTube let me set a goal. So if you see the chat, if you click on see goal, if we have 10 teal super chats, I'll get my dogs on stream to say hello. Did you see that? It's funny. It's a new feature that YouTube allows me to get some super chats. Very, very funny. So super chats is actually where, the name pops up, boom, and you can donate a little bit of money. And then if we get 10 super chats, I'm going to grab my dogs and then I'm going to hold them into the camera so they can do the stream for me. It's funny. All right, go ahead. So Ray Chartney, a 63-year-old, total beginner here. Did my first kettlebell workout yesterday, and I need to learn more. Yeah, Ray. First of all, awesome. Over 60 crew in the house and putting in the work. That's exactly what it is. So kudos to you. Keep going. And do not be discouraged from the initial learning curve that the kettlebell requires, because you won't be able to hurt yourself. If I believe in the load versus capacity model, where if you use too much load and the capacity is not able to handle that load, this is where you injure yourself. But if you have a light kettlebell, and this is what we always do, right? So for example, I'm now resetting my snatch volume with a 16. Now I'm at 18 kg. And my goal is to then do, actually in the competition, I have to use a 32 kg. But I'm actually just building up the volume with lighter weights because I want to practice my technique. So even if the professionals do it, then everybody has to do it. So you're good. Take your time. Z Marie, late brother. Joao Mota, important question. Hey, Jason's in the house. Awesome. Yo, Jason, what's up? Great to see you. Important question. Sometimes the felling of the kettlebell, wanting to pull my arm away, both going up or down, kind of goes into my wrists as if it was wanting to open or this. What? I'm trying. Sometimes the falling of the kettlebell, wanting to pull my arm away. What arm? Ham? Kind of goes into my wrist. You probably talk about the drop of the kettlebell, it reconnects with the body, then you go into the backswing, and this is where it pulls on your forearm and on your ligament, right? Or ligaments, right? Yes, that happens. If that is annoying you or it even causes issues, here's what you do. Kettlebell drops, and then you go into a transverse grip, as we say, right? Neutral like this. And then you slightly turn the thumb towards your hip. And this then creates or releases the tension that you're building up right here. Because when the kettlebell drops like this, between your legs, the kinetic energy wants to pull your elbow apart. So this is where a lot of people feel some tension and it's not good for them or they don't enjoy it. And then turning your thumb in like this allows the kinetic energy to travel into the elbow joint where it bends a little bit, and therefore the energy gets dispersed. So try this. I hope I was reading your answer correctly. Business ideas. Stephen Moore, a hot yoga studio that doubles as a kettlebell gym called Bells of Fire. Well, sounds like an idea. Go ahead, brother, do it. Those bells will be slippery. Yep. As you know, I'm a little bit late. I try to catch up, so give me time. How do you stop the kettlebell whacking your wrist, brother? By improving your technique. So what many people do when they clean the bell is they have this huge arc. So the bell comes up and they pull the arm out. So there's lots of distance between the kettlebell and your center of mass. and then the bell comes up. And once the bell tilts up, so when handle points down, bell goes up, it drops. This is where you hurt yourself. So let me go grab a baby bell, and I can show you too with the baby bells from my brother Moses. I don't have to grab the 20. It's too heavy to show stuff. Oh, what's up? Dogs are going crazy. You're now part of the family, friends, right? So you're part of the household. So when the dogs bark, I have to see what's up. All right, so when the bell comes up, major key, watch this. This is gonna improve your clean in seconds. Bell comes up, right? Bell comes up. You have it. You're supposed to grab it like this, right? Don't grab it like this. Bell comes up. Now, what many people do is, instead of keeping the arm close to the body like I have it right now, the bell's already out here, right? That's a 16 kg, by the way. No, it's a 4 kg. So bell's out, and then it creates this huge arc. And here's the major issue. As soon as the bell points up and the handle points down, crash happens. So your goal is bell comes up, the bell stays down. It stays put. Bell handle always points up. And then once you get ready for the transition, you insert your hand and then you grab it close to the body. Never let in a clean or in a snatch, the kettlebell travels so high that the bottom turns up, right? Bottoms up, because then it crashes. So make sure it points down and you insert your hand inside the wrist, inside the window of the kettlebell. Grüezi miteinander. Angie's in the house too. Stephen, grip strength, sweating and exercise go hand in hand. Hand insertion is key. Amen. Dennis, with regards to fancy moves, what are your thoughts on using Turkish get-ups, halos around the world as for warm-ups or mobility in addition to a workout, especially for those 50 plus? I use bodyweight warm-up. I don't use, everything's unloaded in my warm-up. So I do shoulder rolls, and you can check out the warm-up that I have. It's on my YouTube channel. I like to do everything unloaded when I'm cold. So first, maybe I jump around a little bit, some flutter kicks, some high knees, some just jogging, stepping in place, loosening up. And then what I love is the world's greatest stretch. Then we go into the neck. So I always, in the warm-up, I always work from the neck down. So it's neck first, then shoulders, then T-spine, then hips, then the leg, then the spine itself, the full spine, and then it's the hammies. And so I do everything unloaded. So that's why I don't consider using any type of weight when I warm up, unless it's a preparatory warm up where I grab a weight to get ready for my competition set, for example. So when I was doing the snatch, I was using a kettlebell as my final part of the warm up, a lighter kettlebell to get into the groove of the movement, right? But I do everything unloaded. But like I said, if you enjoy this, it sounds like a lot of time for me. So my warm-ups, I do understand, however, that a lot of people say, yeah, but once I'm 60, I have to warm up like 15 minutes. We have people 60 plus all the time. It's 5-6 minutes of warm-up, very to the point, very intense. And after 6 minutes, we're ready. And we always go, once we go into the workout, here's the major key distinction. Once I move into the workout, let's say we have an AMSAP round and then we have an EMOM round or whatever. The first round or the first set is an extended warm-up, which means you're not using your working weights, but you're using the lighter weights. So you can warm up with a clean and press in that regard, or with the swing, right? So that's why I'm not using these exercises. Matt Season, you should do 10-minute work along with for various body parts. What? Markus, hallo Angie, endlich etwas Schweizerdeutsch. Yo, Markus Hauser, liebe Grüße. Nikki Pervo. Hello, Gregory and Angie. Just started kettlebell training and following you. I'm from Mauritius. Thank you for your videos. Awesome. Ooh, Mauritius, how beautiful it is there. Oh, yeah. The 2BO gang. 2 bells overhead. That's what's up. Guapa? Dat? Hoe moet we? Hoe ga je zeggen? Kom, guapa. Kom, schat. Guapa hier. She's shy. Huh? Kom, schat. Guapa. Huh? Hello. Look who's here. She's grown. Look at her. Look at how big she is. Right? That's a staffy. Hello, you're on stream, girl. Baby girl. She's grown. She's so big now. Look at this. And look at the neck. Big neck. And she's strong. She's strong. It looks like she's the boss now. Gypsy is here. He was number one, but she's a dragon. I'm a dragon. All right. Good girl. Good girl. All right. So, you want to stay? Want to stay, baby girl? She wants to stay. All right. So, where are we? Yeah, 2 bells overhead. For those who don't know, 2 bells overhead means you always make sure that 2 bells end overhead. So this is currently how I plan my workouts. So the way I plan it is I use as 90% of the volume of my workouts. I want to make sure that it ends up overhead, and I follow the weightlifting principle. Or it's a derivative of weightlifting, because look at the weightlifters, how these guys look. And in 90% of cases, the weights end up overhead. And yes, of course, they use way heavier weights, but they only do 1 rep and then they rest. And in our case, we just do multiple reps. But at the end of the day, just make sure you want to make sure that the volume is up. So I currently sit in my heavy weeks. I sit at 12 tons of volume per workout. And in my lower weeks, I sit between 8 and 10. And so this is how I calculate the workouts. I calculate how many reps have to end up overhead, so on and so forth. So that's the 2 bells overhead, gang. That's what's up. Steven, what age should I get my kids to incorporate kettlebells in their fitness routine? Well, science says that, here's the thing. Kids move around, jump around when they're young, right? So, and they wrestle with others. They jump from on those places where they can play. They jump around, they run around, so they get used to moving. And this is what I love about kids. Every time when we are training and kids are passing by, they always look into the gym. They always want to look what's happening, and I believe the human body, the human beings are naturally gravitate towards movement. You see it in the kids. They're fascinated. They think this is like, wow, what is this? Disney Wonderland? Wow, awesome. What can I do here? So kids love to move. And so from a scientific perspective, it used to be the notion that kids should engage into strength training once they're 15 and 16, but it seems like science now caught up and said they can start even younger. Here's how I would do it. You just train, you grab a couple of these baby bells, very light ones, and then let them emulate you if they want to. Of course, they don't have to do all the work that you do. They don't have to go balls to the walls. But that's another beautiful part of working out with kettlebells is you are a role model, and your family, your kids, they can watch you and they can copy you. And then you just let them move a little bit however they want. And I wouldn't focus too hard on that. All right, let's do 10 sets of clean and press and stuff, right? But when's the perfect age to really get them ready into a kind of a sport? It's probably, well, in soccer, they start young, right? With 6 or 5 or 7, right? So it's hard to judge with strength training. I would be on the careful side, monitor, let them play with the weights a little bit, especially those baby weights, 2 kg, 4 kg, whatever. And then once they develop a serious interest, maybe once they're like 8, 9, 10, 11, but I'd still be very careful. And I would read up on the literature currently. I'm not that up to date, but what the literature currently says as it pertains to strength training for kids. Mookie, hey Lebe and chat. New subscriber just found your channel about kettlebells, brother. Starting my journey now to be a success in 2025. That's what's up. Jason, yo. Jordan, I've been working with Walmart kettlebells for a few years. A couple of Wednesdays ago, I received my first proper kettlebell. It's a 20 kg King's Hollow Core. I'm so thrilled about it. Ooh, congrats to that kettlebell, brother. Let's go. Geopon, thank you, Gregory and Angie, for your focus, optimism, and encouragement. My time is now, and I needed to find you to understand that, brother. Awesome. Thank you so much. Z Marie. Question, I'm an absolute newbie looking to train progressively for stronger legs for kickboxing. What do you recommend? The basics. GBP. So here's what a lot of people, I think that's a major issue that I see when so many sports folks ask us, what should I do with kettlebells? And once I learned that concept, and I'm about to tell you right now, I fully understood the major difference. And I read a couple of books about it. I really went into a deep dive, talked to a biomechanist, one of the most legendary ones, Unfortunately, he passed a couple of years ago. His name is Dr. Michael Yesis. He was the guy who translated Dr. Yuri Verkhoshansky's work when the Soviet Union broke down and Dr. Verkhoshansky traveled to the US. This is when Dr. Michael Yesis came in and he was working with him closely. So here's the major distinction. Check this out. You have two fields of training to make it very broad and to give you a bird's eye perspective. Field number one or section number one is GPP, or let's break this down into phases of training, right? So from the Soviet sports literature, you have 4 phases of training. Phase number one is GPP, and GPP stands for General Physical Preparedness. And let's just assume we have an example. We have a cyclist or a boxer or an MMA, it doesn't matter. You just have somebody who wants to specialize in a sport, right? Because at the end of the day, if you want to get good at your sport, you have to specialize. So that guy wants to become a boxer. Let's use your example. What did you say? Where are you? Kickboxing, right? You're a kickboxer, great. So you start phase one. That's GPP. General Physical Preparedness. This is where I would see the kettlebell. Because GPP means you want to elevate all aspects of physical qualities as much as possible. You want to get stronger. You want to improve your endurance. You want to improve your mobility. You want to improve your coordination. And you want to get everything into sync. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to improve your general fitness? Because in phase two comes the special preparatory phase. So in SPP phase, that's part number 2, this is where you then start preparing for your sport. And this is where you learn the moves, the kicks, the, roundhouse and high kicks, low kicks, guarding, right? And by the way, this is where I would see most definitely the kettlebell being a very solid tool. Hence, I do understand where the martial artists come from, because with kettlebell training, you always rack kettlebells like this, right? Close to the body. And what does this resemble? And I just saw Joe Lewis. He had an exercise to make sure you're always able to get into a guard. He said that's a major issue with bodybuilders. If you have too big of a muscle, you can't go into a solid guard like this. And so he said you should always be able to do this. And where do you learn this, especially with weights? Kettlebell training. So this is where I see lots of carryover. So I would have you do for GPP phase, if I was your coach, I would say, all right, some running, some cross-country skiing, some rowing, bringing up your endurance. Then I would say, let's bring up your strength endurance with some snatches, with some cleans, with some swings, with some ballistic exercises. Hey, and let's bring up your explosive strengths with some jerks, with some double half snatch. And then let's bring up your strength with some squats, some presses, some farmer's carries. So that would be my plan on a very broad perspective. If I was your strength coach. And then in phase 2, I would give the reins over to the special coach or the next coach, which is the guy who then teaches you the kickboxing, right? And so once you're in SPP, you then minimize your GPP because now you're focusing on SPP. And then in phase 3, here comes the competitive period. Let's say you have a fight in 3 months. So then you prepare for that fight. And then in the competitive period, you then get used to the fighting. You get used to the competitive environment. So it's probably, I don't know, if it's kickboxing, it's much more sparring. It's maybe even harder punches. I don't know what that entails, but you get what I'm saying. And then in the competitive period, no more GPP, no nothing. You just get used to the fighting. And then after the fight, you have post-competitive phase. This is where you do something completely different. You take ballet classes, for example, right? And so what I just explained to you was the Soviet method. And it still is in Georgia, in Bulgaria, in all these Eastern Bloc nations and countries. They still prepare athletes like this. And look at the results that they get. Look at Lasha. His clean and jerk, 267. His snatch, mind you, his snatch was 221. I'm talking about Olympic weightlifting. I think 221. And think about this. Lasha was snatching 221 kilograms, right? He dropped the barbell down. And I think it was a world record. I'm not 100% sure. And they could leave the bar like it was for the next guys to do clean and jerk. How crazy is that? That guy just snatched my clean and jerk. Imagine how powerful Lasha really is. And Carlos Nazar, Lu Xiaoyan, look at these guys. And look at how they prepare. Look at how they train. And this is where I get the information from. This is where I draw conclusions and parables to what I do and to what the kettlebell sport world does. And this is where I have some conclusions where I don't understand how certain people go about it, go about their ways. I hope that makes sense. It was a long answer. Yeah, first live AMA from Fort Lebe. Exactly. Fort Lebe. That's what's up. Man. Gregory's video of bottom-ups Turkish get-up is impressive. Did I do a bottom-ups Turkish get-up? Yeah, I think I did, right? Can't remember. Question. Naturally ends. Have you ever tried a double rack sit squat? I was just curious on how this could be beneficial, functioning in any way. You bells in the rack and then sit down into a squat. Well, I do it every time I do squats, right? Every time I do a squat, I want to work continuously. But then sometimes I rest in the bottom of the squat, and I think that's very beneficial. And you're raising a very interesting point. I just read the abstract of Dr. Hermann Ponzl. Dr. Hermann Ponzl. Dr. Hermann Ponzl is a scientist, I think, in evolutionary biology. I'm not that 100% sure, but he has written a couple of studies that his research is fascinating. And I still have it on my to-do list to invite the guy on the podcast. Very, very bright mind and interesting stuff. And check this out what he said. He said, compared to the hunter-gatherers, the modern societies do not have longer sedentary time. So that means we are just as sedentary as the hunter-gatherers were. But here's the major difference, and that's why I'm mentioning it. The hunter-gatherers spent time being sedentary in a squat position, for example. They had no places to sit or to chill. So they were resting in hollow positions or in static positions, which still required their muscles to be active. Very interesting stuff. I got to talk to this guy. I got to put him up on a podcast. Vivo. Can people 65 and older do a double clean and jerk swing? You just mean a double clean and jerk? Of course. Of course they can. Nothing's in the way. Nothing. What do they need though? They need structural integrity. So what do I mean by this? First of all, you have to have a solid strength base. You have to understand, because a jerk is an explosive movement, you have to understand how to mobilize those muscle fibers. For many people get started, you have dormant muscle fibers and they don't have a good kinesthetic, they don't have good kinesthetic literacy or coordination. So you got to build up those fundamentals first, and then of course they can clean and jerk 100%. Here's another important if they have no structural issues where they have pain. If you have a client, for example, and we have a couple of these clients who have shoulder issues. So one client, she had an accident, and now she has to do surgery with the shoulder because it didn't get better. She can't sleep. And the other client just developed it over time. And shoulder issues are bound to happen for many people 50 plus. And so in both cases, they have to do surgery, but they still kept training with us. And with both clients, we were going hard. We were going all out, right? We were using really heavy weights. We challenged them, but we always challenged them according to their capacity, right? Here's where the load versus capacity model comes back. So you don't want to challenge your clients to an extent where they are in pain. And we never do exercises when the client says it's painful. All right, we're going to stop it. And never for a second think, yeah, but Gregory said that the snatch is awesome, the clean and jerk is awesome, the squat is awesome. Yeah, these exercises are awesome, but individuality always applies. If you have a client who has arthritis in the kneecap, right? And we have one of these clients, he has arthritis. Right, so that what's the English word? Wait a second. Cartilage, yeah. So her cartilage is almost completely vanished. Right, it's broken down, and so squatting sometimes is painful for her. Do we squat then? No, right? Or we only squat to a certain depth. where there's no pain. So this is where individual differences apply, especially for the 50 plus crowd. And what are the risks involved with clean and jerk complex? No risks. There are no risks. If you have a great trainer, no risks. No risks at all. Don't let people fool you into thinking, well, that's an explosive exercise and people are going to disintegrate. Oh, a 65-year-old is doing a clean and jerk. This guy's going to disintegrate. Oh, he's doing an explosive swing, a snatch. This guy's going to die. Look at his back in 10 years. That's all bull crap. That's total crap. No risks are involved if A, you have experience, B, you are an expert, and C, all the proper fundamentals are in place for that person to do that exercise. And if somebody's telling you, well, the kettlebell is so dangerous and this is dangerous, they have no experience. What? Always ask, all right, so how many people did you train? I just saw a video of some guy where he said, believe me, I did all the exercises. Well, wow, it's just you, bro. From a scientific perspective, that's nullified. That's no evidence. It's you only. And we have evidence and experience and data from 350 people that we've trained in the last couple of years. That's the data that I can draw from. Well, 80% is over 50, over 45. Can I get a sleeper build using kettlebells? Of course you can. I have a sleeper build. Most definitely. When I wear a normal shirt or a normal pullover, and funny thing that you mentioned the sleeper build, I was actually thinking about titling a video like this. Say, do you want to build a sleeper build? You got to train with kettlebells. Kettlebells are the epitome to build a sleeper build. And for those of you who don't know, a sleeper build is a physique that doesn't look impressive at all until the guy or the gal takes off the shirt or, whatever applies in the situation. You get what I'm saying? And then you're like, whoa, that guy lifts. So, and the term sleeper build is derived from that typical social media era where we live in, where everybody seems to be big, right? That's Big John, that's Big Dan, that's Big blah, right? And so sleeper builds are kettlebell specific, 100%. Unless your name is Levi Marquardt, then you just look like a behemoth wherever you go. Levi, look at Levi. My brother Levi, I love this guy. This guy, him and me, we connect on so many levels. That guy's a walking behemoth. Heisenburger. What do you think about the man-maker combo? Love it. A combination of the greatest exercises, push-up, row, clean, thruster, a beast. Very taxing though. You gotta be careful with programming. A man maker is highly taxing, so be careful with it. But it's a beast. Sebastian, do you have experience with intensity distribution and volume for endurance athletes who want to use kettlebell training as part of the athletic training, for example, running and kettlebell? Sebastian, I think I answered that question now previously. Running is your SPP and kettlebells is your GPP. So what would I do as a runner? I would do everything that running doesn't give me. So running doesn't give you strength, right? It does give you some strength, but not that type of strength that you're probably looking for. So I would do squats, press, swing, walks, and incorporate some snatch if you want to build up your strength endurance and then get not only the carryover from more strength, but also carry over for more strength and endurance, or that special type of endurance that can then boost your running. Mike Molaro, Lebe, I want to join your monthly club. I think, Jason, you've answered this, right? But let me see, I'm going to go a little bit faster. But curious as if to the programs are rated by difficulty. I'm no pro, but I'm also not a noob. Yeah, Kettlebell Plus, like Jason says, Kettlebell Plus. Get started with Kettlebell Plus. Don't start the YouTube Kettlebell Club. The Kettlebell Club that we have on YouTube is that was a system that I set up if you want to donate to us and support us for what we do on YouTube only. But I highly recommend get started with Kettlebell Plus. I think Jason put in the link, right? Yeah. Stephen Moore, start a war. Which is better, Strong First or Dragon Door? Mike Molaro, awesome. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, everything's self-explanatory. I think, Jason, you helped them out, right? I think so. Yeah, everything's self-explanatory. We have a curriculum. For those who don't know, Kettlebell Plus, you also find it in the link in the description. You can get started for $1. And then here's what many people told us. They said, Gregory, I just need a program that tells me exactly what to do. And this is what we have. And by the way, we just revised the first challenge, the first part of the program. I revised it 2 days ago. So it's brand new material in Kettlebell Plus. And then it segues you into the dojo, into workouts of the week, powerful stuff. It has a 3-month initial guidance where it takes you through what you have to do. And then you have a maintenance program. I think I really went balls to the walls with this to give you as clear of a start and a clear structure. So I think that makes sense. And it's just $1. That's a no-brainer, right? And you can cancel anytime. Jacob, I currently have a shoulder injury. What advice do you have for using one side only for exercise to make sure you can work out daily without overtraining? Love your channel, brother. Thank you so much, Jacob. Yeah, just train one side. Simple. So we have 2 clients who have shoulder issues. And then now it's 3, actually. And so with most of the clients, we do the healthy side, always work it, because there's an effect that's called the cross-education effect, where if you train just one side, the other side gets some gains too. So go ahead, do that one-sided work, unilateral work. That's what the kettlebell shines the most, right? And then afterwards, I would make sure that the painful side, experiment with exercises that you can do that don't cause you any pain. Your hair's on sweet. Have you started running for your goal for Master of Sport with Snatch? I'm a long cycle guy, so I have to run 3 times a week in my program. Actually, no. I'm just building up the volume, and I'm currently I've reset my volume. I was doing 24s all day, every day. And then I had this conversation with Dennis, which I highly recommend. Go check out the Kettle Nights podcast, friends. And hey, I want to sit a little bit cozier here. This is too formal. If I have you guys with me, let me make sure I sit. I sit like this. All right. And then I have to just lean in and answer those questions. It's always nice when you're a little bit cozy. I feel like I'm in the room with you guys. You're in the room with me. Like, so we chill. We're chilling. So here's what Dennis said. Dennis said, yo, listen up. Gregory, you got to restart with the volume. Because my goal is now, I got 85 reps of Snatch in 5 minutes. I was really happy with this. I'm only 11 reps shy of Master of Sport. So I think I can pull this off. But my goal is now also MSIC. So it's 139 reps. And by the way, for those who don't know, MSIC is Master of Sport International Class. That's the highest standard that you can achieve. In my weight class for the Snatch, I need to do 139 reps with only one arm switch, just for your info. And so Dennis, I love Dennis. I said, hey, I talked to Alexander Khwostov, and Alex said, Gregory, you have to build up 200 reps with 24 in 10 minutes. That's very tough. And then you get close to MSIC with the 32. And I said, all right, I'm going to do this. And so I started with the 24s, blah, 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 blah. And then this conversation with Dennis, he said, Gregory, go back to the 16, build up the volume with the 10-minute sets, and then you go up to 18. And currently I can tell you, so I keep track of everything now. And that's what Dennis said. If you keep track of everything, you know the numbers, you're halfway there. So in this Snatch workout, by the way, comes up next week on the channel. So I did 100 reps with the left side with the 18 kg, 22 reps in the first minute, 21 reps in the second minute, 20 reps in the third minute, 21 reps in minute 4, and 16 reps in minute 5. So I got a little bit tired. So the reason why I explained this is, I'm going to get to your question. And then the right side was first minute, so that's minute 6, was 22. Second minute was 20. Third minute was 16. Fourth minute was 16. And fifth minute was sprint. My sprint was 23. And so that ended up with 97 with the right side, total of 197. And so that's the reason why I see these numbers with the 16X, where I was only able, because I felt gassed, I might include some running later down the program or rowing. But I just now want to build up the volume up to the 24 and then see if I can hit 200 reps. So that's my current goal. And the next volume, starting from next week or in 2 weeks, is going to be the 20K, then it's 22K, then it's 24K, 26K, up to 30, just like Dennis said. So this is what I'm going to do. And long cycle, man, I respect you guys, man. doubles? And what division? Are you professional? Double 32s? My God, man. So my goal is now to get MSIC and Snatch, and then probably start very slow and light with jerk, because I love the jerk. It's such a powerful exercise. What do you think about, yeah, the man, yeah, answer that. Hi, Lebe. Thanks for all your content. Appreciate it, Juan. Why you focus all your money content in people over 40? Is only a marketing strategy? I'm 30 years old. Juan, yes, you shall not pass. Boom. I always say this. Gandalf, boom, when he fought the Balrog. You shall not pass. Boom. Why am I doing this? Simple. It's two things. Is it a marketing strategy? Of course it is. But why is it a marketing strategy? Why? That's the major question. The reason why it is a marketing strategy is because I know that the over 40 and 50 crowd gravitates towards the kettlebell. So I just make it plain and clear that I want to talk to my target audience. And so you being 30, you're not in my target audience. Doesn't mean that you can't train with kettlebells. Don't misunderstand me, right? Go ahead. The kettlebell is powerful. 20-year-old can use kettlebells, right? But when you're younger, you don't have the same responsibilities and the same issues and the same physical ailments like 40s and 50s have, right? So this is where I focus. So it's a marketing strategy, most definitely. Plus, that's the type of clientele that really wants to change. The younger kids or the kids, they're like, oh, I just want to lose 6 kilos and I'm good. No issue with this. That's fine. That's a goal. But it's not a goal with gravity. You know what a goal with gravity is? A goal with gravity is I have so much pain in my back. I can't, when I wake up in the morning, I have so much pain in my back. I want to play with my grandkids and I can't. And I just woke up this morning and game over. I couldn't even tie my shoes. And then my back was blown out. I had to go to the doctor. Stop it. Or I look in the mirror. I feel so weak. I feel unfit. I feel like my body's disintegrating and breaking down. I got to do something for my health because I want to be there for my family. I want to perform in my job. I want to be there. And I don't want to give up on life, right? These are goals with gravity. And that's the crowd that I work with because these are the people who then get these massive results because they stick to the plan and they trust the coach. And they've been through enough crap that they understand that you can't fool them, right? I have to do lots of explanations and value dropping in order to convince these people to get started. And I love doing this. And I loved working with that crowd because these people are 99% dedicated. I hope that makes sense. Coach, Bajo Quinto. Hey, Marlene, long time no see. What's up? Nikki. What are your thoughts on combining kettlebell with calisthenics and animal primal moves? I'm not a fan of animal primal moves, but I'm the big fan of calisthenics. Calisthenics? Are you trying to tell me that push-ups, pull-ups, dips, bodyweight squats, burpee, prison-style burpee, or just a military burpee, muscle-ups, boom, you got it. I love calisthenics. One issue with beginners is body weight is tough for beginners. No beginner can do a pull-up. No beginner can do a solid squat, a solid push-up, pardon me. And almost everybody has an issue with burpees, right? And so that's why the kettlebell is such a great tool to segue beginners and build, as I like to call it. And by the way, I got this from, I forgot his name. Elliot Hulse. I got it from him. Build structural integrity first. And once you have this, you can then journey your way into calisthenics. And the reason why I'm not into primal stuff, it looks fancy to me. Again, no disrespect. If you're having fun with that stuff and if you enjoy it and it gets you lots of benefits, great. I don't see its application, at least for me or for my crowd. Hence, I don't use it. Lebe bark on deck. 100%. I just started learning the clean Jedi triangle. I started the clean. Yeah, good stuff. What do you use for calluses on your hands, coach? I use a pumice stone to file off the skin. And you really have to do this. You have to dedicate lots of time to it and make sure you do it on a regular basis. Regularly chaffing off that, it looks a little bit like this currently. Making sure that the palm is smooth. Then I use bee wax. And then I use aloe vera. And that's really good for hand care. But see, you also have to understand how much can your palm carry or bear. In my case, here's what I did. Since I'm now doing every time I start my workout, and by the way, if you're a Kettlebell Plus member, once I got Master of Sport, I'm going to upload all of my workouts unedited to Kettlebell Plus. This is going to be a super huge course where I just upload everything. I record every workout that I do currently, every single one of them. You probably even see me picking my nose and stuff. I'm not even editing this, right? I just leave it unfiltered, unedited. And what am I doing currently? Because this happened, now it already healed. But this thing was, I had blood underneath the skin. Why? Because now every time I'm done with my body weight warm up, I then do the snatch. Why am I doing this? Because Dennis told me, focus on your SPP exercise. In my case, it's the snatch because I want to compete in a couple of months with 32 kg. He said, do SPP first, then you do GPP. So all of my double bell work, the 2 bells overhead philosophy that I've mentioned in the chat from Levi Marquardt, shout out to Levi, is harder to kill training. I had to drop the double half snatch because after snatching 200 times, even Lido bells, I do have good skin, but it's already a little bit, there's already work has been done. And so then it's like a bridge that's about to collapse. So if I do a double half snatch, you feel it. You probably felt it's like that little moment where it goes, and you're like, oh no. I felt it, blood came up, but I didn't rip it apart, so I left it. So 2 days later, I recognized, all right, all the ballistics with heavy bells have to stop now, and I have to focus on snatch. I have to get a solid palm skin. And so the next 2 days later, I did 156. It's on the channel too. I did 156, I think, with the 16 kg in 10 minutes with the left side. Because I knew I can't trigger my right side or else it's going to explode up, right? Or it's going to get even worse. Hi from the UK, Darren, what's up? Best kettlebell coach on YouTube. Thank you, brother. So many good coaches out there, but I'm honored to be in your circle of trust. Gregory, I've been doing your workouts. Danilo Vukov, I've been doing your workouts for some time now with my cast iron kettlebells, and I love it. My question is, am I in any disadvantage for not using competition kettlebells? Danilo, here's the issue. The issue is, and now I have to say 2 things. No, you're not. You have a kettlebell, you put in the work, you're going to change. You're going to improve your physique, don't stop. You're on a perfect path. The reason why I would recommend the competition kettlebell is because the techniques that we teach, they are optimized on competition kettlebells. So certain cues and information and education that I give out does not work, at least not directly on cast iron or other kettlebells. And then the issue is you're probably left frustrated because you say, yeah, coach, I do everything that you tell me to do, but it doesn't work. That's probably because of the kettlebell. Right? So that being said, it might make sense to maybe save some money and then go get yourself a competition. However, you're not at a disadvantage right now, brother. You keep going, you keep pushing. That's what's up. Adam Stark. Grüße aus Ungarn. Dein channel is cool. My brother, thank you so much. Liebe Grüße nach Ungarn. Tracy, 50. 59-year-old female looking to build muscle, particularly leg muscle after having lost a lot due to lack of activity and hormone issues. Can you speak on the best exercises for hypertrophy? Keep it simple, solid. Swings, squats, cleans, carries. Right? Do everything full body. Snatch, press, everything. Everything that the kettlebell offers. Do not focus on just legs only, because when you work with the kettlebell, your midsection, your hammies, your glutes, your quads, everything's working. Just go grab your kettlebell, do the big 10 exercises, the big rock exercises, and you're good. And when it comes to hypertrophy or trying to specialize, here's what I would do. Aim for 1 workout a week, at least for a year. If you feel like after a couple of weeks or months, you're able to do 2, good. But please hear me out. So many people don't stick to 1 workout a week. Life happens. We just had a client. He wasn't in the gym. He didn't train with us for 6 weeks because life got in the way. So we had to have an honest and serious word with him, right? And so that happens so often. Hence, I'm saying you would rather train once a week for the full year than 5 times a week for 3 months and then you stop. Because the frequency over the year matters more than the frequency over the week. Vinny Schreiber, hi Gregory. I want to say thank you. I learned everything from a strong first instructor. Great, good start. But you made me fall in love with the kettlebell again. The Levi overhead sessions are powerful. Yeah. Lots of greetings from Holland. Vinny, it is what it is. 2 bells overhead. Oh, once you go there, you never go back. Awesome. Oh, stuck. Hey, what's up? Oh, yeah, my system is stuck. I wanted to zoom in, and now it's stuck. Oh, wait, friends. My system's messed up now. Waar is het los, man? Here we go. Huh? Give me a second, friends. Anzeigen. Oh, I think I'm good, right? Am I? Oh God, am I so slow? All right, let's go faster than my friends. Oh, let me read it here. Probably a little bit easier. Oh no, man, it's not. It's going to confuse me. Oh, okay. Let's stay focused. Rezo, I have a 12 kg pro kettlebell. Should I try ordinary competition kettlebells or continue to buy pro? Just one of ordinary are better or worse. Rezo, why do you think I continuously push the pro kettlebell? Because I think others are better? No, the pro kettlebell is a beast. That's what it is. And if you want to, I understand though, if you say, well, from a financial perspective, I want to get heavier weights, but I don't have the financials, of course, go grab regular competitions. But Rezo, you've been commenting on the channel so often, you hear me say this all the time, right? The pro kettlebell is king. That's what's up. So go grab another kettlebell if you can't invest from a financial perspective, but you want to or you need heavier weights. Vinny, and one question. Which exercise is, in your opinion, the best for trail running? Next year, July, I will do the Ultra Run Swiss Canyon. Oof. See you then. Alter. Vinny, geiles hier. Yeah. Here's what, like I said, the best for trail running, the basics. Consider this, GPP, right? GPP with kettlebells, swing, squat, press, carries, snatch. Singles, doubles, double half snatch, right? Double swings. This is the big rock stuff. 2 bells overhead. Your trail running is going to go through the roof. Roland, Kettlebell Dojo is the best community. Yeah, Roland's in the house. I started there with 12. After some progress, ordered 24 kg. Yo, Roland, I didn't know this. Awesome. Yeah. Doubles overhead is awesome. That's what's up. Jamie. What would be a good kettlebell swing program to start with for weight loss? Again, Jamie, do all the basics. It's not just the swing. It's a great way to get started, but here's the most important key about weight loss. Do exercises that trigger your whole body. Systemic exercises like a thruster, a squat, a clean and press, a snatch, carries, right? Every single muscle fiber is firing, and make sure you are in a calorie deficit. Yo, Tatiana in the house. The ninja build. Yeah, exactly. Yo, Donnie's in the house. That's what's up. Nice, the team is gathering. Mike Bruno, question. How do you see ab exercises with the kettlebell? You don't seem to mention or tailor exercises for abs specifically. Do I understand that they're always solicited into all of these? Yeah, Mike, here's where I stand with ab exercises. I never do them because I think they're worthless. For me, do you have bodybuilders out there who do ab workouts because they want to get these bloated abs, or they want to get these big monstrous abs and get them look like they have bricks installed into them? Yes. And they do hypertrophy work. Yes, they do it. Great. I don't want to look like this. So I never include any type of ab exercise. And if you put the bodybuilding dudes aside, why do regular people do ab exercises? Why are you doing it? I always ask the same question. Are you doing it to strengthen your core? You know what they say in 99% of cases? After you ask a follow-up question, if they say yes, and you say, what does that look like? Well, I want to have six-pack abs. I want to get that belly. I want to make sure the belly diminishes. Doesn't work, even though recent science, very interesting stuff, recent scientific evidence seems to point out that targeted fat loss seems to work. Very interesting. So if you do lots of swings where you always contract your abdominals, because the midsection is always active with kettlebell work. So if you do lots of swings and cleans and snatches, it might be that the body seems to get rid of those fat cells around the abdomen area. Scientific seems to point that out. Very interesting stuff. But it's all worthless if you're not in a calorie deficit. That being said, I still consider it valuable to just do systemic exercises where every single muscle fiber is trained. And so I don't want to waste my precious time. I don't have a lot of time available, and I don't want to waste it with some kind of ab crap, right? So I'm very blunt on this. Instead of doing some, I do burpees. I do carries. I do snatch, right? So this is how I finish my workout. Carries most of the time, heavy swings, or a burpee. Burpee, man, the burpee kills everything. Vivo, whenever I do 6 to 8 rep double 24 cleans, I'm at full capacity. I purchased those weightlifting shoes you wear to help my foot grip. I'm fascinated with this form of resistance. Vivo. Mission accomplished, brother. That's what's up. And hey, double 24s, solid work. Solid work, brother. That's awesome. Juan, thanks, dude. I really appreciate your response. You're welcome, brother. Marlene, I was in another car accident. My car was hit 2 times from the side, so my left hip is really... Sorry to hear this, Marlene. I don't know if you ever seen in John Wick 4 opening scene, they had kettlebells while John was training. Yeah, but he wasn't training with them. I saw them. They're decorative art. That makes me mad. That makes me so mad. That gets my blood boiling, friends. Why is the kettlebell always decorative art? Ask Angie. Ask her how frustrated I was when I was at FIBO. Yes, the kettlebell was almost in every booth. Almost every booth. You saw the kettlebell. You saw some form of it. Some little ones, the big ones, even some competition kettlebells. You saw them, but nobody used them. At least for the moment where we were there, but we were there on those high volume days where you had so many people in there, but nobody cares about it. That's the reality. And so again, it harkens back to it's only kids were there. Most of these were kids, right? Who want to take a picture with their favorite influencer, right? So for old dudes like me, I was like, what's up? So the kettlebell is only decorative art, and that makes me mad. We got to change this. But I saw this. Franz Josef, yo. Yes, we saw us at FIBO. Exactly. Great to have you in the chat. James. Recently got into kettlebells. I train BJJ maybe 3 to 4 times a week. What exercises volume would you recommend to stick to it? Do you think kettlebell only program would be enough to supplement BJJ? Well, just strength, right? I think strength endurance, one of the core principles that you need in BJJ, and by the way, that's one of the reasons why the martial artists love it, is because the kettlebell requires you to understand tension and relaxation, right? So you have to understand when to contract, you have to understand when to relax, right? And I think there's a similar concept in BJJ. So kettlebells most definitely can help you. And I would, experiment. Say, all right, again, in your case, SPP is BJJ. And if you do it competitively, listen to your coach, what he tells you. I would listen to my coach all day, every day if I was in a competition. Just like I listened to Dennis. He said, this is what you got to do. I listened to Steve Carter. I listened to Alexander Khostov. They told me what to do, so I do it, right? I don't question it, not a second. And then you might consider the kettlebell as your GPP when you want to elevate all. It's supposed to be the boat that lifts all tides, that lifts the tide. It's supposed to be the tide that lifts all boats of physical qualities. This is what the kettlebell is, so use it like this. Thoughts on Sandbag? Very popular on Instagram. A lot of people use it. I think it's cool. We have balls. We have 15 and 20 kg balls where we do some clean and press and stuff and throw it. And I think it's cool. Sandbags are cool. It's like an extended arm of kettlebell training. Once you get into that realm, you discover club bells, you discover the mace, you discover sandbags, you discover balls. And I think it's cool, right? But at the end of the day, kettlebells is where it's at, brother. That's my main thing. Rene, thank you, Gary, for the Q&A. Question, is the water weight after workout every time normal? Can the abs get strong enough to stop bloating? The water weight after, you have some additional weight on yeah. It's most definitely possible. But here's how I would do it. Bloating, it depends on what you talk about. In many cases, it's just people want to get rid of these layers of fat, right? And so, strong enough abs to stop bloating, very interesting question. If you refer to just getting rid of the excess fat, make sure you stay in a calorie deficit. Make sure you weigh yourself daily, maybe in the morning, not just after the workout. Weigh yourself daily for the next 3 months. Make sure you track your meals. It's a very powerful, purpose-driven method, a program to make sure you stay on track with your weight loss, if that's the case. If it is anything related to, internal gas or whatever, I'm not the right expert to ask. That if you have a strong core, if that influences your abdominal area or intestines, I do think probably yes, but I'm not qualified to give you a solid answer on this. Tracy, my pro kettlebell finally shipped today. Woo woo! Yeah, Tracy, let's go. Özgan, no. Öguzan Ünal. Öguzan abi. Hi, Gregory. Is it possible to lose belly fat only with clean and press? Yes, you can lose weight with almost any form of exercise as long as you are in a calorie deficit. Please, friends, this is so important. The calorie deficit is king for weight loss. They say you can't out-train a bad diet. However, this puts training into a bad spotlight. I think training is incredibly important, but if weight loss is the goal, the calorie deficit is king. The guy in the back needs to move some. My friend right here, right? You know what's funny? When I had a conversation with Denis Vasilev, he had the same skeleton and the same positioning. I was like, oh, you got the same skeleton. He's like, yeah. And I have it to show the rack position. I'm like, yeah, it's a good thing. We had the same setup. Love it. This is me after my shots. That is good. This is Angie after her training break. All right. Ben, I think I'm at the end, right? Awesome. I did it. Ben Lewis, I work out with kettlebells every other day. One day I do all the grinds, the other mostly all ballistic. Is this sustainable? Yeah. I usually just battle through soreness. Yeah, Ben, let me give you insights on how one of the toughest Bomba Club man from out of Jamaica. I had a conversation once with she's from Jamaica, and I had to tell her this. This is Beanie Man. Who know Beanie Man? Guy's king. But I'm getting off track here. So, one of the legendary elite kettlebell athletes, his name is Denis Vasilev. He's a multiple world champion. Guy's a beast. Humble, loving, but this guy has the heart of a warrior and the body of a monster. But a humble heart. This is like this is the guy you don't want to mess with. He's going to rip you apart in competition, and then it's going to hug you and love you afterwards. That is just so awesome. And Dennis said, I train 3 times a week. Maybe he does some GPP, maybe some running, right? Every other day. But he said he crams everything into 3 workouts. So if one of the elite kettlebell sport lifters, and by the way, when he competes, it's double 32s all the way. Double 32s, right? If this guy says he trains 3 times a week, many of us can follow that model. I train 4 times a week. And on my 4th day, I'm playing a little bit with the weights, which I enjoy. Or you can even say on day 1, we always design our weekly workout. So it's a little bit, it's not a particular specific workout to bring me closer to my goal. Even though it's just, I love that. I love designing the workout of the week. I love filming them. They give me lots of benefits. I mean, after all, it's the stuff that I believe in and the stuff that I design. Yet my personal workouts are a little bit different, and almost all the time it's double bell work. That being said, if you're too sore, it is probably a sign that you're going too hard. And friends, just wanted to let you know, make sure you download that free ebook in the first link in the description. If you want to get any sort of value, additionally, you want to read through it. It's 16 pages filled with information. Just yesterday, I had a conversation with Scott, who became one of our clients, and he said he got the ebook, he read through everything, and he loves the content. It's lots of information. We are very value driven. I really want to see you succeed. And it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter if you spend money with us. Of course, I have to earn some money so I can do what I do. And I want to build a legacy, of course. But at the end of the day, I do believe in selling the house for free. Because many times people then consider joining or becoming a client because they say, hey man, I want to work with you. If your free stuff is already that good, wow, the paid stuff must be crazy, right? You know that I'm Turkish? Oh, of course I know it, Abi. Of course I know it, my man. Of course. I have a lot of Turkish friends. So 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Ben de iyiyim. I'm good. I'm doing good. Yeah. Man, there's a German saying, they say Kanaken Volk. The Kanaken Volk. So this is everybody from Turkey, from Serbia, from Albania, that's the Kanaks right here in Switzerland, right? We're all brothers. We all love each other, right? That's what's up. And kebab and dürüm, man. Don't get me started, brother. You guys have some of the best food in the world. Did I get lost now again? Here we are. Yeah. Here we go. Tracy, I love the dojo. Yeah, Tracy, love it. Awesome that we have you with us on nutrition. If I would like to lose 10 pounds but gain muscle, what does my calorie intake look like? Deficit with loss? Yeah, most definitely. And weight loss is always calorie deficit. The way you sustain and keep the muscle is strength training. And it's a very bird's eye perspective, very easy to understand. When you go into weight loss, here's what's happening. Your body gives off excess energy in forms of fat and also, unfortunately, in forms of muscle. And that's why if you don't train and you're just going on a diet, you then have that flabby skin. Okay, you lost weight, but you're flabby, right? And so the muscle, this is where the strength training comes in, because we tell the body, all right, listen, get rid of that fat, but please don't touch the muscle. And if you touch it, only a little bit. So that's why high protein, calorie intake low, and intense strength training. That's the key to success. James, thanks for entering. I'll structure it around swing, snatches, clean and press. See how it goes. Report back, brother, please. Renee, thank you for responding. I'm 172, 51 kg. I'm looking for recomposition, not weight loss per se. Just too slow of a process for me. The water weight after workouts mess up with the snatched look. Is this common? Well, you probably just got started. Did you just get started? And the slow process, think about this. 24 passed like this. right? In a couple of days, it's 2025. That went fast, didn't it? Right? Think about it like this. You start once. This is what I said in the beginning of the stream. Focus on the result, focus on the habits, your workouts, your training, making sure you stick to a calorie deficit. Make sure when you go out, you don't go balls to the walls. Make sure you inform your friends, your family that you want to change your life, that you want to change your body. Please let them know. That's so important. Communicate with everybody around you. Just tell them, listen, I need your support. This is what I want to go through. This is my goal. Please help me. And if not, if you don't want to help me, at least leave me alone, right? And then stick to the basics. Stick to the habits and the results will follow. I guarantee you this. So instead of focusing on the water weight, here's what you do. Renee, you are focusing on one little cogwheel in the grand scheme of things. So instead of keeping your focus on that little cogwheel, which sometimes turns and sometimes it doesn't, and maybe sometimes it makes some noises, focus on the big picture. And that is stick with the habits, make sure you're on a calorie deficit diet, increase your protein intake, do the heavy basics, some good stuff, and you're gonna see results in no time. Just like Lucy. Lucy started, like I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, she started in January. She changed her life because she finally got into heavy strength training and heavy kettlebells, right? And then she recognized, all right, I'm consuming too much calories. So make sure you write that down. Be honest with yourself. And by the way, calorie counting, this is not the principle. The principle is the calorie deficit. Calorie counting is just a means to an end. I don't count my calories. Angie doesn't count her calories. And some of the clients who have had major success this year, Daniel is one of them. If you're still in the chat, please let everybody know that you're still here. He lost 27 kilograms, or 26, right? So that's over 50 pounds. So I told him, you can stop counting that stuff. You are dialed in. And now instead, he's now focusing on the macronutrients, making sure the protein goes up, right? So it's a means to an end. So you don't have to count forever, but we have to have a program. Once it sets in, once you're on the track, you just keep running. And here's a major key that I've learned. One of the reasons why I think I can exercise my gift very well, and that is keep pushing when things get boring. The major distinction between people who succeed and people who lose, or even people who succeed a little bit and those who crush it, keep pushing. They keep trusting the process. They keep trusting the coach. They keep trusting this program, even though it gets boring. Do not jump into SOS. Forget it. The shiny object syndrome. You see something sparkle in the distance that gives you, we have more success faster and blah, 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 blah. Don't do it. Blinders on. Focus. Calorie deficit, protein, kettlebells. That's what's up. CPK. Calorie deficit, CDPK. Calorie deficit, protein, kettlebells. CDPK. That's what's up. Team CDPK. That's what's up. Hashtag. I think we're almost done. Donald, are you going to add some new programs in the Kettlebell Plus? We just updated it. The 30-day Kettlebell Challenge, we updated it 2 days ago. And we add every Monday, there's a new workout in Workout of the Week. Every Monday. We currently sit at 273. Make sure you follow those wows. And make sure you jump back into the curriculum. Jump back into the Get Started course if you've been a member for a long time. Jump back into Get Started. There I've outlined a clear course on how to pursue your goal with Kettlebell Plus. Go ahead and do it. BJ, I have a question about my hands ripping. I've been doing the one on rep snatch and my hands blister and tear, but not every time. BJ, I've answered your question in the beginning of the stream. Nat, yo, yes, the Jamaican. Best kettlebell trainer. I'm a Kettlebell Plus member, but tends to gravity to Angie's. That's good. That's good. The bomba clot. That's what's up. See? That's in the house. How awesome is that? Troy Matthews. Inside, outside swing, cleans and snatch combined with squats and windmills. Yo, still here, Daniel. Great. Thank you, Jason Gregory. Appreciate the help and advice, Tracy. You're welcome. I'm almost through. All right, Borden. Last question. Hey, Greg, how do you go about mobility and keeping flexibility, and especially shoulder mobility, overhead position, and tie front hips? I've been consistent 3 days a week with an 18 kg, by the way. I have improved my mobility like crazy by just kettlebell work. So science seems to indicate, at least the evidence seems to indicate that you are good if you just do kettlebells. And wait a second. Shots? Babe? Brauchst du mich zu please? Ich komme gerade auch. Ich bin gerade fertig, babe. All right, so I gotta finish, friends. I've taken almost 2 hours now, but I'm gonna answer that, and then we're good because we have to go out with the dogs. So kettlebells. This really changed my mobility like crazy. And overhead, it's just lots of pressing, jerking. That's what helped and increased my mobility. Yet I do understand that some people probably need some additional mobility, and this is where I get it from my body weight warm-up. So make sure I have the body weight warm-up in the house, on the channel. Go ahead and check it out, and you should see it. And Gypsy? Where's the boy? Gyps? You saw guapa, right? Gypsy, come, big boy. Gypsy. Kom, Schatz. Zeg als hoi. Oh, je. Kom, ga eens hoi zeggen, Schatz. Kom. Kom, Gyps. Kom, ga eens hoi zeggen. Then we're good. But he has to say hello. Gyps, kom zu mir, Schatz. He's dressed. Kom, Schatz. Okay. Einmal. Und zweimal. All right. So that's the big boy right here. Look at him. All right, everybody. So thank you. Oh, all right. That's the big boy right here. So thank you very much, friends, from Team Lebe Stark, from Family Lebe Stark to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your continued support on the YouTube channel. We highly appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.